I've got with me today a beautiful crystal that was given to me on a ceremony that we had in Eastbourne in the bush here in Wellington on the 2nd of February to open this gateway that we're in. And I was surprised by this woman who gave me this as a gift. A shaman in Brazil had given this to her, and she was handed it now to me. And this crystal is charged with a beautiful heart, coherent intentions of collaboration and co-creation with our, not only the elements and the elementals, but also our cosmic brothers and sisters. So this has been with me today. February has been very intense in general. Energies are really amping up, because also is the month number 2, the second month. If we follow that Gregorian calendar, know that when I talk about time, I've always prompted to say this. Time is what you make of it. There are so many timelines and so many layers. We can follow time in a flow motion from our heart, where the time is space and it's a continuous now, right? And so from that perspective, we can see time as a tree where many timelines are moving and flowing and converging. And we can, from this higher perspective, can see where we're at. So it's not linear. It's not that it's always this, then that, past, present, future. It's more like all of this is flowing and moving as we go. So that's time as a flow. Then there's a time as direction, the more masculine side of time, the most rational, where most of our society has been taught to follow time, where we follow a date and time based on a 12 or 24 hour. And so I read both. Why? Because we are in both constantly. We do lead our lives. We're living in that reality of direction, where we do have schedules and we do have timelines based on Gregorian time. And it has its meaning and its place because it has become a collective archetype. It's a collective agreement. When we follow time, we collectively have agreed to go through time. So from that perspective, the 22nd of February of 2022, it has a particular meaning and a particular significance for the collective right now. All right, so I'm going to talk about that first. Then I'm going to show the higher perspective. All right, and then we get into the reading. From that perspective, I'm going to start where it started. On the 2nd of February of 2022, again, we're moving into that 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, right? We've entered a gateway, a portal, a pathway, a bridge of initiation. On that day, many of us were aware of that. We wanted to work with these energies of purification, working with all the elements and elementals, working with our need to see in a mirror what we were ready to see. The significance of the number 2 is that of a mirror. All right. Now the 22 is a pathway. All right. So on the 2nd of February, we were at the doorway to go through this passageway of 20 days. All right. So on those 20 days, there was a lot of purging and purification. Now, if I talk about why the 20, because it takes 40 days for our, it's a blood process, physically, a blood process of circulating through the entire body, new blood. 40 days. 40 days, it's also a well-known amount of time that it takes to build a new habit or to shed old skin. So there's that 40-day passageway as well, all right? Which will lead to the 13th of March, okay? We're halfway. That halfway of the 20-day passageway, it started on the 2nd of February. We have crowned through the purging and purification on the 22nd. In New Zealand, we're on the 23rd now. So we have gone through that flip where we're going to go through the next 20 days towards illumination, okay? Towards seeing seeing with a different eyes or a different point of view what we've going through. Now, astrologically, there is a very important stellium. Stellium happens when more than 5 planets or celestial bodies unify into one direction. Let's say it's a synchronicity. Call it, it's a moment where all these bodies and planets with their own archetype and meaning and energy and magnetics will be in alignment for a moment. And that's going to happen on the 26th and 27th. Okay? So that's happening this weekend. Now, because we are already entering, these bodies are entering into alignment not only with Earth, the Sun, Mars, Venus, the Moon, Vesta, Pluto. You know, it's a really good, interesting, very charged up energy. And we've been feeling it at all levels, all right? Because at the cosmic perspective, and I'm going to enter now into the reading of the flow of time, not as a line, but as a space, there's a bigger picture here at play, which is the ascension of humanity. For some of you, that word might not be really clear or might be a bit fluffy. You can call it evolution, you can call it conscious awareness, you can call it alignment, prophecy, whatever you choose that resonates with you. But it is a cosmic time, a cosmic clock, that it is already happening. So the universe also has its own rhythms. And from this perspective, right now, what's transpiring is very in tune and in line with what we're going here right now in this timeline as human collective, which is letting go, closing down old templates. So if you see the universe and life as a program, we've reached the completion of an old program, an old template, okay, an old grid. The Kali Yuga, the time of purification, where most of the growth at collective level needed to happen, right? It's the shaker, the chaos. And we're now flipping and entering the stream that will lead us to Sat Yuga, which is the era of truth. Now, truth is such a touchy subject at the moment because there are so many truths at so many levels, hidden, seen and unseen. There's also the opposite of truth as well, which is the trickster. It's those aspects of deceit. And so all of these timelines are converging because we're also in this old template. The old template was the duality template. The old template was the infinite template, the number 8 template, which was constantly leading us to the pendulum, dark, light, shadow, non-shadow, yes, no, yin, yang. We've all been moving through that to a number 2 constantly. What's happening is now we are crossing over this template of duality and we're going into a unification. Now, bear with me. Unification does not mean getting rid of duality. It does not mean that, because if we fight the duality, we're only going to keep creating it, right? So this is still going. This is a timeline that is still flowing. It's a template of a reality, a layer that is still a reality for many, many people and souls who are needing to still be in this reality. We have this one now coming, the new template. We call it open source. We call it Kathara Grid. Okay? It's from the 12 to the 13 Sephirats. If we look at some knowledge from the ancient Kabbalah, the Kabbalah which works with 10 Sephirats and main, let's say, portals of growth or steps of growth, of ascension. And we're now actually on 13th. So it's like a new level. It's like I was telling my son the other day, it's like you finishing your game, you're at the last level, you think this is it, and you open the portal, you do your last battles with whatever, in your hero journey. And guess what? Congratulations, you reach a new level. Game is not over. It's a change. It's a different, you might enter a new world with new rules completely. So we are in this last pathway, birth canal, purification process, however you are experiencing this, right? And everybody's experiencing this in their own rhythm, in their own way. So moving through the portal of the 222, it's a pivotal time to go to the trifecta. From that infinite duality, polarity, right? That's always going to be in dancing, comes the third. Now, if we do not find this balance here of these two first, we can't go higher. So we need to find first the balance between these polarities until we reach this higher perspective. And it's still gonna go. But from this higher perspective, this is as valid as this. This is not better than this, or this is not better than this. It's just a dance of separation that is leading to unification, divine union, into a higher perspective. A higher perspective. Now, once you reach this higher perspective, you can dance in this new triad, in this new trifecta, right? You start going like this. And sometimes you might find yourself more here, back here, back here, oh my God, back here. It's okay, because we're still in that process. That still, everything takes its own time. There are no rules, and only you know in your path where you're at. And it's never going to be perfect. So understand this. There's a lot of that, I would say, spiritual bypassing or spiritual ego, where we have been led to believe that there's a series of steps and things I need to do so I can reach my perfect higher self. I'm gonna get enlightened, and from here I'll be forever in peace. How I experience, what I've seen, what I've been shown through my own guidance, is there is that level which you can achieve, but we're still in this body that is still in this realm, that it is still transversing these times and this dance of duality. So if you're only operating from this perspective, out of body, with this high expectation, you're only going to be disappointed on and on and on about your journey. And you're going to then put yourself in a place of deep frustration of what's wrong with me. I'm not doing my work properly. I'm not perfect enough. What am I doing wrong? I'm not good enough, blah, 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 blah. We know, we all been there. So rather than placing yourself here and trying to resist going here, what if you allow yourself to be here, 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 here? So the dance is no longer a pendulum. Now it's a movement of this. And this, I'm just putting a visual here. You might feel this going actually downward. Some of you might go, actually, for me, it feels like this and down and up and, you know. So whichever way you're transversing this, the important message here I want to convey to you is that we are going through this flip where we are able to have a higher perspective, and that's what we've called divine neutrality or divine union. So that is the significance of this 40-day pathway that we started on the 2nd of February. Okay? We are halfway, exactly halfway through. So during these 20 days, I'm sure you've all felt all kinds of challenges, from emotional exhaustion, nervous system breakdown, observing things and going again through child wounds, not being able to express the essence of who you are truly in your communication, breakdown with others, because it's all about relationships, losing relationships. But rather than losing, I would say you learning to let go of relationships that do not longer serve you. Maybe clinging to those who you're not ready to let go of yet. Or maybe reassessing and growing and reworking how our relationship dynamic needs to evolve to keep flowing, to be together. And that is very, very challenging as well at times. So this 20-day passageway has shown us a really clear mirror of ourselves. And ourselves, myself and you, we're not separate or different, because everyone is a mirror as well. This year of the 2022 is also a year 6, because we have 3 2s in it. So 2, 2, 2, which is 2, 4, 6. The 6 is the numerology of the Star of David, the higher triangle and the lower triangle in balance, yeah. But it's also the double 3, the 3, 3, okay, double trinity. A lot of alchemy and a lot of fire happening, moving and shifting. So we're already in a year where collectively it's inevitable change will happen so quickly that there will be no time to resist. Okay, so all we're trying to do now is keep up with the energies. And the best way I would suggest to keep up with these energies is through self-care. What does self-care looks to you? It's a really personal process, and it's a deep teaching, because many of us don't know how to stay still, do not know how to rest, or we're not in tune to listen to ourselves. Some of us are doing that more often. Some of us are completely in that, and we're just, like Jedis of these energies. So wherever you're at, remember, it does not come from a place of perfection where you need to be and should be in any level. You are where you are right now, and that is absolutely perfect where you are. Now, bringing awareness of the energies that are at play gives you more tools to prepare how to handle this. Collectively, we know what's transpiring because we can feel it. Even if we are not in the know of news or social streams, or even if we are completely seems to be shielded off from what's ever happening in the world right now, because I choose to be in my cave at this time, you're still feeling it in different ways, because it's all part of the big ongoing time of flow. All right, so some of us really need to know what's going on, because we feel that that's the way we can handle things better, and then we can direct our energy or just navigate things better. I do suggest, if you need to disconnect from the rest of the world and go into your cave, do so. If you need to go into nature and connect to nature, go for it. If you need to actually you feel really focused into creating something, you go for it. Follow your mojo, follow your mahi, follow your magic, follow wherever you're being led to. That is what we need to do now. Now, very important, there is a energy, like in every energy pattern configuration. As we go higher, we also go the opposite, because this is a mirror year. So in your life, when you are going higher perspective, when you gain higher perspective, you also going to have the opposite perspective. Because remember, as we transpire this polarity program, we need to see both sides of the story before we transcend the story. So a lot of us are going to start transcending our own story. We're no longer going to feel connected to old stories we tell ourselves or we tell others about ourselves. Some of us are going to enter in deep rebirthing. And it's okay, it's valid if one day you, or lately, you've been waking up and asking yourself, what am I doing? Why am I doing what I am doing? Why? Or I'm no longer motivated. And usually when we have a lack of motivation, we were taught to try to motivate ourselves, or because it feels really uncomfortable, because it puts you in a place of void, in a place of pause. Hold on a second. I need to assess what motivates me to keep going. Where's my motivation? What do I tell myself that is my motivation, my purpose, my mission for today, or further up? And sometimes it's okay to be in that moment where you don't know what is your motivation. You are in an assessment moment. And that, again, that is lifting yourself up from this game of life, this duality, and you're going, actually, I'm going to stay here. I'm not sure what my motivation is anymore, and I don't know why I do what I do. And that's okay, because that would be the seed to take you to a different pathway or different level, or deepening yourself and your commitment into what you're doing. And it is completely valid if at this moment you're questioning everything, because that's also where you need to be at this time. Collectively, we're going through that as well. We are questioning. And I keep saying, be curious about what's going on, rather than to create an immediate response and reaction about what's transpiring in the world, whether it's immediate and local, or global, or about your life. It's really about for you going, I'm not going to have a reaction. I'm not going to create and form an opinion just right now. I'm going to be curious about what's transpiring right now. And I'm going to hold it lightly. I've always said this in my updates. Whatever is transpiring in your life, hold it lightly. See it, observe it, let it go through it, watch it, let it move you, let it connect to your heart and your feelings. And at the same time, hold it lightly, because it might go like this. That truth that you for a moment going, yeah, that's happening, yes, finally, whatever. You're placing your attachment to a result that might just change in a heartbeat. So if you attach your whole identity to a truth, when that truth crumbles, you crumble with it. All right? So, but if you hold that tightly, then it's a completely different thing, because you can observe the truths coming through, but from this point of higher perspective, unified in your heart, then you're able to see, okay, what else is happening? Oh, this is new. Oh, this happened. Oh, this flipped. Oh, I didn't know that. That made sense. That didn't make sense. And you're just watching these energies move through. And if you do not attach a result or identity to the truths, you are able to observe them, and then you're able to find your place within all of this soup of truths. Because this year, it's about this constant flow. And what seems real might not be real. What this person may be saying might not be the truth. What this person being regarded as whatever label, conspiracy or lie, might be the truth. So it is constant adjusting. And this is why this year is so potent at a collective level. We have Neptune in Pisces. Neptune entering back its ruler. And Pisces always will prompt us to have faith. It's about faith and believe. Now, this is very hard because we've been taught to rationalize everything, analyze everything, dissect, find the truth like if it was one single thing. And the Neptune comes in with Pluto. I'll talk about Pluto going, I'm here, I'm not here, I'm here, I'm not here. This is real, no real. So your mind goes nuts if you attach to that. So you have to let it go and going, okay, what's real? It's my faith, my belief, what I believe, whatever it is, that is where I stay right now. And that's what I would focus on and manifest. You might believe in a new earth. You might believe in a new way of living. You might believe in the goodness of humanity. You might believe that this realm needs to go through a complete reset and needs to go into apocalypse, if you want to say. Whatever it is, it's your belief. And that might change too. So you need to flow within this belief. But this is why it's getting really confusing, because we tend to want to also have a full direction, and we want everybody to follow the same direction, like the fish in the ocean where they just want to go through one. But guess what? Right now, everything has been shaken for the past 2-3 years. Actually, the past 8 years, really. So we're in the moment where nothing makes sense, and it does not need to make sense. It's really, you need to go now and connect into the heart and go into your own discernment. All right? Pluto, the king of the underworld. I go like this because I'm an Aquarius, cusp in Pisces, and I'm really feeling Pluto energies, especially in February, because it has been really challenging me. Pluto's in Capricorn, and Capricorn, oh boy, is a perfectionist, earthy, but also watery sign. So Capricorn needs to have a reason for everything. Everything has to have a purpose and a value, and it needs to work. You know, Capricorn is at work and it's to go into the mountain and find, the ultimate truth, or that the bottom of the ocean as a fish, because it's both goat and fish, and find the treasure. And everything has an order of things, right? So Capricorn is coming in and it's telling you, what are you doing that is working? What's not working? That's not working. So you're picking. It's like OCD. And it's really showing you the tiniest of details. And for someone like me, for example, who tend to I have a higher vision of everything. If you start showing me all the little details and all the hairs in the carpet, I get really stressed because I feel I'm not good enough. How could I miss that? How come I wasn't seeing that, So Pluto is coming in and is questioning us. Everything, not only at a personal level, at relationship level, and then at collective level. So imagine everybody having OCD about everything. Your work, your relationships, your friendships, everything. You'll get into a state very soon where you're exhausted and drained. So, because these energies are at play, if you understand them, then again, you hold it lightly, you bring up a higher perspective, and you can see why all these things are being shown to you. That doesn't mean that you need to act upon them right away, fix them all, and make it perfect. Again, remember, not placing yourself in a space of spiritual bypassing and perfectionism, because that's an illusion. Bringing yourself back to the center is, I am right now being the best I can be with what I've got at the moment, with the tools and what's been shown to me. And from this balanced, compassionate place, it's easier to transverse these really potent energies. Okay? Beautiful. Enough of me talking. Let's go through some guidance. I'm going to pull one card for the collective first, and then I'm going to invite you, whoever wants to have a quick reading, I will bring a card for you. You just And I'll just tune in to see what type of card we are needing. I have 3 decks, and we're gonna pull one each for the collective first. Iroarara te teshtimaye koyarea yaki awayarara maharia tikriaya mahiria sasa. And also the lion full moon, the full moon in Leo was very strong as well. Lots of fiery energy. Lots of teaching us and pushing us to bring out the inner warrior, the inner strength. So tuning, if you want to have a reading, just really tuning to your heart. We're not doing this reading from the head. You might get a card that you might not expect, or it might not be what you want to hear, but it might be just perfect, what you're needing to hear. Okay, so for the collective, I'm just going to discuss here higher perspective, what we're going through, and maybe it's mirrored. It's forgiveness. Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So beautiful, on point of what we're going through, because again, the energy of the mirror, when it's showing us all the details and bits and pieces that we don't want to see, or it's hard to see, once we see them, we need to be able to forgive ourselves and others. And as a collective, we are needing a lot of that energy so that we're not repeating that cycle of polarity. Okay, now this angel cards. These angels are not the typical angel cards. They are Kabbalist, or the Kabbalah of the old template, which holds a lot of wisdom. And it also shows us the astrological configurations at play for the collective. Oh, okay. So this is Sakiel. It's the number 4. And it has to do with the element of Virgo. The sign of Virgo. And it has to do with justice. And it's very in the moon, so an emotional connection. So it's showing us as well that we are in that time where we're needing justice, and we're needing to feel the justice within, and connecting to the Virgo, the Virgin, the mother, the just mother that is able to assess a situation for what it is without an attachment for a result. So very in line what we've been talking about. And the dragon card for the collective. And these 3 cards I'm pulling are also for you who are listening to this call, obviously, because your energy is already connecting to this. And for those of you who will connect later, because everything is quantum, and again, we're not talking about timeline in a directive way. We're talking in a timeline as a space and flow that is always flowing in the now. Okay, the orange dragon. Bring soul families and communities together. Spread belonging, warmth, and oneness. Bring people everywhere together. Aren't we doing this already? This is an incredible. I find it really heartwarming that we get this dragon, orange dragon, as a energy that it is getting us all together as a community. And not only those who think the same way as we do. Careful with that. Because we can't keep recreating this pattern of, if you think like me, then you're my friend. I love you. I can be with you. I resonate with you. And if you don't, I do not resonate with you. You can stay away. You see, it's higher perspective. Doesn't mean you have to be my best friend, but you can bring that together, because a soup has many ingredients and it's perfect the way it is transpiring, bringing everyone together no matter what their stand is, or where the truth or the energy or evolution path is. All right? Okay. So, just a